everyone, and welcome back to Nostalgia XT, an NXT retrospective podcast. I am Jack,
I'm Moss.
and today we are here to review our second NXT event, NXT Takeover, the first one. um, well, they all get called Takeover something after this, but this was just Takeover, period. So, um,
Takeover Full Sail.
Yeah, sure. But the problem is that like the next four are also going to be that. But
Oh
anyways,
shit.
we're here with we're here with NXT Takeover, headlined by Adrian Neville versus Tyson Kidd for the NXT title. Charlotte Flair versus Natalya with an old man in each corner for the NXT Women's title, and also a pretty good Sami Zayn versus Tyler Breeze match, and some other shit that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's this show to me is not even a show of two halves, but a show of the first 30 minutes and then the last hour and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. This show was a roller coaster compared to the last one, because the last one I was like pretty comfortably cruising the booking you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it felt like it had really weird peaks, really weird droughts.
Yeah, this show, I would, I would, and we'll get into this, and maybe as we talk through it more, my opinion will change. But my initial thought before we go through and review it is I do prefer this show to Arrival, but
Mm,
that's more from the perspective that the highs are higher, but the lows are
yeah.
lower.
Yeah. I think there was something about Arrival being the first of its kind that held a certain magic that I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it's blinding me to this one. But also, as we'll talk about later, some of the matches just were not my favorites.
Some of the matches should not have been. So I think NXT at this point is going through a bit of an identity crisis. And as we go through some of the backstage news and stuff leading up to it, I think that's kind of corroborated by the reports. But I think the show right now is caught between what it was and what it wants to become. And the roster isn't quite filled out enough to make it what it wants to be yet.
Yeah,
And
because
that's why you have the
it, it,
first couple matches here that are pretty nothing.
I, it did definitely feel like at least the first two was kind of like, all right, all right, when's this person gonna win?
Yeah, I mean the first
Because
two
I will say,
matches have no place on a like pay-per-view type special live event, you know.
yeah.
It's just squash matches. I mean the Ascension tag match isn't really a squash match, but it's not a back and forth thrilling contest.
No. God,
Um
they really killed Kalisto for a good 5 minutes before he even got tagged out.
yeah, which is actually at this time pretty unusual for the Ascension because most of the time they don't let a single tag happen. So I guess that's the
Oh,
competitiveness. I have a lot of notes about the Ascension when we get there. But
yeah, yeah.
before we get into our May, what was it? May 29th, 2014 edition of NXT Takeover, we have kind of some news and stuff that I want to cover throughout the world of wrestling and pertaining to NXT that have taken place between uh, late February and now 3 months later, late May. Um, so first of all, the big kind of piece that happens between the previous NXT arrival and this NXT takeover is that WrestleMania 30 happens. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so no biggie. And this is the Miracle on Bourbon Street WrestleMania where Daniel Bryan beats Triple H in the opener to earn a place in the main event, and he wins, and it's the big underdog story. And he wins the title over Batista and Randy Orton. And so things are going pretty well in WWE at the time. Fan sentiment is pretty good that they got that one right. Um, However, uh, their presence of NXT Arrival actually did cause some waves in the company. Um,
Oh,
uh,
like good or
Good. So a report we get after NXT Arrival is that WWE is happy with the network so far. The service had its problems, of course, but that's what comes with the launch of any like new streaming service. They say NXT
yeah.
Arrival went very well, all things considered, and the fact that it had a hiccup was actually a good thing, so they can work things out. And this is in reference to the fact that the feed for NXT Arrival cut out right around when Xavier Woods and Tyler Breeze were about to start their match, and it didn't come back in until little ways. For most people, it didn't come back in until a little ways into the ladder match,
Oh God!
which
Wait,
is kind of the worst timing.
that's a crazy amount to lose. Cause
Yeah,
what?
it's
That would be
you lose
the
the whole. Well, you lose the whole Rusev segment, which is nothing, and then you lose. You lose. I think the women's title match was before, so I think you just lose a little bit. But either way, it's still not
yeah
great. Also, in a pre-takeover presser that Triple H runs, he says, and take this with a pinch of salt because, of course, it's Triple H saying it, so he
yeah.
has incentive. But he said that Vince McMahon was surprised at the amount of interest in NXT on the WWE network, and he was blown away by the audience figures and social media buzz for NXT in general, NXT Arrival in particular. He was expecting just a cool looking show, but he had felt that instead they had launched a whole brand. Thus, NXT expected to play a bigger and more prominent role on the WWE network as the brand grows and evolves. So, people are taking notice. Um, I think I think it's pretty notable that Vince McMahon, head of WWE at this point, was like, "Yeah, you can be the first fucking show on, you can be the first fucking show on the network." And then he watches it and he goes, "Wait, this shit's good," um, which is funny. But anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
that's some of the kind of direct NXT arrival fallout. Um, on top of this, there is a bunch of news around the company. The other big thing that's going on is CM Punk quits the company after the Royal Rumble, which was in January, and there are infinite rumors about him coming back, him not coming back. Basically, every week they're like, "This is the week we think he's going to come back," and then he doesn't show up. And the issue will
Yeah.
remain unresolved through this NXT show, but he will be officially fired on June 13th, 2014, which is the day of his wedding to AJ Lee.
Oh, you're joking.
Which is why he doesn't come back to the company in a wrestling capacity for about 10 years.
Yeah, I mean I don't blame him. I
Yeah. So things went great. Also, in NXT news, WWE was doing contract negotiations with uh, TV channels and companies as a part of a new TV deal, and NXT was brought into the conversation as potentially being brought on TV, but ultimately they decide they'd rather it be kind of the selling point weekly for the WWE network. So they're really starting to put some kind of faith into the product following Arrival.
yeah.
Also, speaking of WrestleMania 30 earlier, there was discussions that an NXT match would take place on WrestleMania 30. Um,
The
and
rematch of Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville.
so that didn't quite end up happening. The rumored match was that it would be an NXT title match between Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn. which does not
That would be
happen.
sick.
It would be great. That does not happen. Actually, there's no NXT match on WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
None of that shit happens. There's like no NXT presence really at all, except for a couple competitors in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which Cesaro wins, but he's not even really an NXT guy at that point.
Yeah.
He's full main roster. He's left us. But a part of these reports is that the kind of internal push for the NXT product, um, with the WWE network running, is to make NXT a quote pure wrestling show. Um,
Mm.
so less kind of frills like the main roster would have, just more about the wrestling itself. So that's interesting, and I think I want to bring that up because I think that's the conflict we see on this show with the first half and second half. With you have, I'd say, three pretty pure wrestling matches versus the first two, which are just kind of empty in ring
Yeah.
wise. Which is, of course, the Camacho versus Adam Rose match and the Ascension versus
Ascension versus.
Kalisto and El Local, uh, who we'll get into as we
Yeah.
more into this.
Yeah.
He is a fucked fucker. Um, so before this NXT takeover, Triple H, as I mentioned before, has a press conference, and we get some insight on how he views NXT as a product at this time. He brings up Cesaro in this press conference, and he cites an example where he took Cesaro aside after watching one of his NXT matches, and he gave him pointers about when you get to Raw or SmackDown, you want to do this differently compared to when you're here in NXT. Because of the audience size and kind of the cult following versus general public thing. And I think
Yeah.
that's interesting because, first of all, Cesaro rules. And so
Yeah.
taking
No,
him
he was
backstage
awesome.
and going do something different, I think, is the dumbest thing ever. But I also think
Yeah.
that kind of shows a problem with NXT, which is they want it to be this developmental program for their wrestlers. But because NXT runs full sail all the time, they have, the same audience most of the time. They get certain things over there, but they want their main roster, Raw, SmackDown people to have more of a broad appeal.
Yeah. Because they want to be able to hit, like, across the nation or world, not just
Yeah.
in Florida.
So but they're being rewarded in NXT for getting over with this audience, and I know the solution to that is like, well, you don't want to put these underdeveloped guys on these big, TVs before they get stuff, but that doesn't describe Cesaro, obviously, but other greener talent. But I think that is maybe why you see, like how we talked about how they kind of missed the ball on Cesaro on the main roster. That's where you see like these promising NXT talent come up to the main roster and then not work out. It's because they're
Yeah.
not really,
Because they have a.
yeah,
They have, like, the cult following
yeah,
behind them, and.
but they're not prepping them for what they're asking them to do.
Yeah.
E- and I think part of the reason, looking back on myself, why I get attached to NXT is because what they're asking them to do on the main roster, I think, is worse than what they're doing on NXT.
I agree. I
It's watching your favorite indie band get big and going, ah, fuck. I gotta listen to
if
this
you don't
pop
mind
hit.
me
Yes.
jumping ahead a little bit, I felt that way watching Camacho and being like, I really like his gimmick. But he looks similar. I wonder where he's at now. Lo and behold, to find that it's Tongaloa.
It is Tongalua who just got released.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's that exact point of like he's like, yes, I wanted more from the match with him and Adam Rose, but what he was doing in the match was good.
yeah,
And
I
yet on
have a
the
lot of
main
thoughts.
roster they're releasing him.
Yeah, it's interesting what they're going for here. Also in this Triple H presser, uh, Triple H says that the name NXT Takeover was inspired by the real life takeover of WWE television by a former NXT talent who get called up, like the Shield and Wyatt family, which I think is a subtle, subtle nudge to
Yeah.
Vince saying like I'm coming for your fucking job. um, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's just an interesting point. I think Triple H is not a subtle man. I think he makes his
I,
attacks pretty open.
I do not think he is capable of a subtle push or nod to his intentions.
Yeah, this also goes along with another bit of news I have otherwise, which is that Triple H apparently is very keen at this time, and I would argue in 2026 as well, at addressing the internet wrestling community, the IWC. Meanwhile, Vince stays as far away from that as possible. So I think saying, ooh, takeover, I think he's nodding to the internet fans who he's very popular with at this moment in time in 2014. I think he's kind of sending a message. But
Yeah.
anyways, we get that piece of news. We get the news that the performance center, which is where they train everybody, is
Yeah,
kind of trying to do global tryouts to find people who cannot just get over in their local markets but also succeed internationally. And we'll get into the ramifications of that after we finish this presser, but that is not just a rumor. That is something actively happening. Um,
yeah. Okay.
Triple H also mentions the role of main roster talent on NXT, notably Tyson Kidd, who we see in the main event tonight, as a guy
Yeah.
who's on Raw or SmackDown, and he thinks NXT is a good place for guys like him who maybe have stunted growth on main roster or maybe have suffered an injury and need to kind of ramp up their comeback. He thinks NXT is a good place for that, and I think that's good use for NXT. But he does say that someone like Cesaro is now too big uh, to be on NXT. So there's a limit. You're not going to bring in, you know, John Cena's. You're not going to bring in
Yeah.
these people. It's for kind of these undercard guys who maybe need a freshening up.
Too big
Um,
for NXT, that's what they always say.
they say too big for NXT. Um, also, he discusses the potential of a new series of Tough Enough, which is the competition reality show they have at the WWE. That there's a proposal for that to be on the WWE network, and that is something we will get eventually. So keep your ears out for that.
Sorry. What? A competition
So Tough Enough,
reality?
they did 6 seasons of this. We'll run into the 6th season during this. Basically, it is a competition show where they're finding the next WWE star.
Okay.
So they have a
Okay.
series of challenges and stuff. Once we get to when that series airs, we'll go through it. But it's actually pretty insane because you get the two winners of that who kind of become not big deals, but they do get contracts. And then you look at all of the people who were eliminated, and I swear it's like 7 of the 12 go on to have relatively successful WWE careers.
So it's just completely a flop.
Yeah, they really fucked it
Like,
up. I mean, it's good because they got it, but they really fuck up the final decision. But we'll get into that when we get to it on the timeline. And
all right,
then
all right.
the final point from this Triple H presser I want to get into that runs a little into the global talent scouting is that Triple H says he has no comment on the rumors that Kenta and Prince Devitt are coming to WWE. That's currently rumors, neither officially signed. But of course, Kenta and Prince Devitt are who becomes Hideo Itami in WWE, and Prince Devitt becomes Finn Balor.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
and so those two are. rumored pretty constantly throughout this period as signing. They are joined later as those two do eventually sign, and the those two cause quite a stir um, that really this is what I think is the fundamental shift, and we'll see as we look through the live shows, but I think this is the fundamental shift that takes NXT from a developmental, ooh, try your gimmicks out to a we're a fucking wrestling show.
Yeah.
Because Kenta and Devitt are these two talents who Kenta is Japanese. Balor, of course, works in New Japan forever as Devitt. Um, and the evident rumors that kind of come around is that everyone in NXT, when these two are signed, basically goes, I think I'm going to lose my job. Because everyone starts getting concerned that, and it's not, you know, your Sami Zayn's, your Neville's, but it's your undercard guys like a Mojo Rawley, like a
Yeah.
Camacho, who are like, they're bringing in these people who are already better than me that they don't have to develop. Um,
Yeah.
and on
I
top of
mean,
this, these two get signed, and then at the Performance Center, in the midst of all these signings, Kevin Steen tries out, and he's going to be signed, and Kevin Steen is Kevin Owens. So these
then
three all get
yeah.
signed up within a couple weeks of each other, and they're going to debut in August. And so we get kind of this moment, I think, and I don't know if it's Arrival or this first takeover that really kind of flips the switch in their brain, but basically NXT is going to become the pure wrestling show soon, and these three signings kind of are the final bell tolling for the less talented in ring, maybe character first guys. They're still going to
Yeah.
exist, but I don't think they're going to, from my recollection at least, I don't think they're getting the takeover spotlight. They'll get the TV opportunities, but this also comes in tandem with some people getting released from their contracts in the Performance Center and on NXT. So the perception really becomes they're bringing in these people and they're letting people they're trying to develop go. We might be
Hmm.
fucked.
Yeah. I mean, I would be worried if I saw like the developmental Kevin Owens, Finn Balor coming in, and I'm a guy whose whole gimmick is like something like a locale where
Oh
they
yeah.
don't even have like a tag team name.
No, they're Kalisto and El Local.
Yeah. No, I love them and I hope they stay forever, especially the Kalista mic work that you sent me.
Oh yes,
Really good.
the lucha things might work. Yeah, the infamous promo. We'll get into that when we get to that match. I might have bad news though.
Ah,
Um, so in NXT news in the interim, that is not necessarily related to any of our matches tonight, but some stuff I do want to touch on. On March 27th, Summer Rae, who was in the uh, BFF's stable with Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks, is getting called up to the main roster. The BFF stable, by the way, stands for Beautiful Fierce Females,
okay.
which is very 2014 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
But Charlotte and Sasha are now the two there, and apparently the rumor, I don't think this ends up happening, but the rumor was that the vacant spot in that stable would be filled by Alexa Bliss, which would have
That
been
would be sick.
crazy at the time. She is 22 years old at this time. But I don't think that's the direction they end up going. I think they go a different direction. Uh, Also, on April 8th, after WrestleMania, on Raw, there are vignettes for the debut of former NXT champion Bo Dallas.
Okay.
God bless
Okay.
his soul. But also, very interestingly, this is April 8th, a vignette on Raw and SmackDown for Adam Rose, who will continue
Oh,
to be at NXT Takeover on May 29th, a month and a half later. He is doing double work. He's been on NXT for a while, but he's doing double work on Raw and SmackDown and NXT. And that is really. We'll get into that match very soon, but that is a tale of two different stories, two halves of his career. Because on NXT, he is very over, and on Raw and SmackDown, it is not transferring.
yeah. I could imagine Adam Rose is not a main stage favorite.
Well, in a 20,000 person arena versus a 400 person arena, you can tell how it plays different, the gimmick.
Yeah.
But, anyways, also, people are getting nervous because it seems like the Ascension may get called up from NXT next. And this is before TakeOver. And people are like, are they going to pull a page and just vacate the titles? Which I will get into that later. I have very heated thoughts on this.
Yeah.
And they say Sami Zayn will likely be on the main roster by January next year for the Royal Rumble. That ends up being quite false. um,
I I just want to say, if I was one of the mid cards, I would be sweating if I'm hearing like tag teams are being pulled up, singles wrestlers are being pulled up, and then they're hiring in new talent to replace me.
yeah, it's like, wait, but shouldn't I be the main event guy now?
Yeah,
Mojo Rawley's sitting there with his American flag. He's like, but I thought, I thought,
but but me and Rusev feud forever.
yeah. But I think the interesting thing is they're thinking about calling up the Ascension. It's like, who the fuck are the other tag teams on NXT? Who's gonna be
No,
your
if
tag
they
champ?
call up, no, they're just gonna have to vacate the belt and leave it vacated.
Yeah,
Like,
because it's either Kalisto and El Local or Too Cool, who we know don't come back.
yeah,
Um, Finally, before we get into the show, I have just some news that is funny. In the time between this NXT arrival and takeover, Hugh Jackman hosted Raw.
all
Um,
right, all
awesome.
right, yeah,
Batista, who, as you may recall, was getting booed viciously by the WWE fans for not being Daniel Bryan, uh, ends his comeback run a bit earlier than people expecting, and he leaves in disgrace because he has to go on his press tour for the failure of a film that is Guardians of the Galaxy. So
okay,
things turn out all right for him.
yeah,
And then finally, this is a fun rumor that I know you'll love, that I do have to contextualize a little bit, but rumors backstage are that Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are potentially starting a new Nation of Domination stable,
oh shit,
which is
it's
not,
the New Day.
which is going to become the New Day, but the Nation of Domination, of course, is a faction from the '90s that was like a Black Panthers, like Black
Yeah,
Power faction, which would have been interesting, but it is very different than what the New Day ends up becoming.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, that
and
is
thank God
our.
for the New Day.
And thank God for the New Day. God rest their souls. um, so, anyways, that is our remainder of our non-match related news. So we can get into NXT Takeover on May 29th, 2014. We get the first instance of the, at least in NXT, of the Then Now Forever video package to start. Then
Yeah,
we get an opening video package talking about change and evolution. And that
the
we,
only thing certain in life is change.
yeah,
Yeah,
it says we must evolve or face extinction. NXT is a celebration of the exceptional. NXT is taking over the world. They're doing a hostile takeover. Um, and I think it's also rich that this video package says evolution a lot, of course, being Triple H's famous faction, really
yeah,
hammering it in. And then we get started with NXT Takeover, and we start with Adam Rose and the Exotic Express coming into the arena from the outside, having a party.
I, I do want to start by saying a few things about that. One, I was looking at the people
Oh,
in the
I'm so glad.
I think they're called the
They're the
Rosebuds or the Exotic
Rosebuds.
Express. Yeah.
I think
And
technically the whole, including Adam Rose, is the Exotic Express, but his
okay.
ensemble is the Rosebuds. I know people have done a lot of research into this, and it's really important. But I
Yeah.
think that's technically what it is. But yeah,
And I was
they,
looking at them and I was like, huh, these are a strange roster of the Easter Bunny, a guy in a lemon suit. And then I checked the comments. Apparently Becky Lynch is in there, and
I
Carmella,
have a
and Braun
list.
Strowman.
I do have a list of Rosebuds, and the Rosebuds would be the most successful WWE faction of all time. Included in the Rosebuds, I don't know if all of them were here on this night, but at some point these people were all Rosebuds. You have Becky Lynch, Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss, Zelina Vega, Scarlett Bordeaux, Ruby Riott, Elias, Carmella, Nikki Cross, and Tessa Blanchard.
Oh my god.
These were just the successful members of the Rosebuds.
Yeah.
um, there's some funny stuff. I was looking up stuff, and Braun Strowman has an interview, and of course he's the big guy here.
Yeah.
And he has an interview where he says, "quote I was a rosebud. That's what got me seen. Vince himself saw me doing the rosebud gimmick, and he goes, 'Why is this guy doing this?'" And then he makes
Yeah,
him
yeah.
a full time wrestler. Becky Lynch talks about how when she got to NXT, she was so excited to do anything. She was falling over herself to be a rosebud. And in 2018, this is the interview, and she looks back on it with, "Why was I so desperate?" Um, but yeah, the Rosebuds were a big thing. Hey, listen, with the NXT audience, these everybody fucking loves them.
Yeah.
Um, so Adam Rose starts the show off by he's partying from the outside. They all party into the arena together. He does the stage dive off the second rope as they're partying. Um, and I mean, despite me not being very fond of this match, it's a hell of a way energy wise to start off the show.
Oh, yeah, no,
It's
definitely.
good vibes. It reminds me of a guy we'll run into later. It's this is the NXT has always had these kind of party gimmicks. It's Adam Rose. You get later No Way Jose, and these are your guys who you'll open the show, have a good time. Um,
Yeah.
but then
I
we
mean,
get
even the commentators, they were saying, like, I was out with him the other night, and it's shocking what we got up to. Even saying, I'm his number one strawberry.
yeah, the commentators,
Yeah.
same as last time. Tom Phillips, Byron Sexton, William Regal. They still have their gems this time. They have not chilled out too much, although they are during the women's match slightly less distracting.
Yeah.
um, I said slightly. So then we have
And,
Camacho enter
yeah.
to no reaction. He
And,
is
well,
Tongaloa.
and has amazing intro music.
He does have good intro music. He is pretending to be Mexican as well.
Yeah.
Even though he is from Hawaii. Um,
Yeah.
Camacho is a somewhat doomed gimmick here. But
There's a
anyways,
certain cliff to it of, like, you can only go so far with this gimmick before.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not really much happening. But anyways, the build to this match is Adam Rose makes his NXT in-ring debut March 6th. Um, and that same day, Camacho loses to Neville in his first match as NXT champ. Rose actually beats Camacho in a singles match a couple weeks later, um, and this sticks with Camacho. And after a match, he calls out Rose for being a partier. Um, he
Yeah.
he just fucking hates that guy. We'll get into that. Um, Camacho on the May 1st edition of NXT gets bumped into backstage by a Rosebud, Captain Comic, which sets up the next week a match between Camacho and Captain Comic.
Wait, the Rosebuds actually fight?
Only that one, as far as I can tell. I think
I,
just to serve the angle. But anyways, that happens. Camacho wins very quickly, and then Rose saves Captain Comic from getting beat down post match. Um, and then on the May 22nd edition of NXT, just 1 week before this, Rose defeats Camacho via countout after they start wrestling a match, and then Camacho just leaves because he had enough of this bullshit. And then
oh,
they just have a match on Takeover for some reason.
okay.
In terms of
Okay.
some news, Adam Rose has the Exotic Express, which is his group, but also that is the name of a bus he has. That is like a party bus, and apparently it has been outside of Raw ever since WrestleMania. But apparently, it's not a sign of his debut. They just use it like normal buses, but they just didn't do like another paint job on it.
Sorry. So you're telling me in 2014
Yeah.
certain people are getting brought from Raw events in Adam Rose's party bus?
I think it's not the talent, but it might be the crew.
But that's still the effect
It's
of like.
still horrific. Um, Also notably, is that on May 13th, which is just 2 weeks before this match, we get a report that Adam Rose at this point has debuted on the main roster, and it is reported that the Adam Rose experiment is seen to be a failure. um, and so we may not want to expect big things for him uh,
Okay.
in the coming future.
Yeah.
But he does get this match on Takeover. Um, so we get into this match, and the crux of the match is that Adam Rose is fucking around a lot, and Camacho does not like that.
Yeah.
Um, Notably, at the start, Camacho locks in a full Nelson, and Rose breaks out of it with his ass.
Yeah, he wiggles against him,
Yeah,
and Camacho in horror
yeah,
releases.
and Camacho goes, "I'm not a homosexual," and
Even
it's
even the
2014, so that
commentators.
yeah, they're like, "Whoa, yeah." So like,
He's different. Yeah, definitely different.
this is 2014 WWE. They are a weird Republican ass company to this day, and they are certainly that at this time. I think Adam Rose as a gimmick, if you want to do the homoeroticism stuff, that's fine. But I don't really trust them to do it
No.
whatsoever. And while I can laugh at it kind of from my 2026 goggles and knowing that Adam Rose never really becomes much of anything, um, the hints here are of haha gay at this 400 person attendance match in Florida. It's evident what they're going for.
I mean, there's a reason he succeeded so well in the sample size of Florida.
Yes. Even if they're
Yeah.
having fun partying with him, they are laughing at him, not with him.
Yeah. But
Um,
I
it,
will say, great spots in the match.
Interesting. I disagree.
Well,
I will say one of my favorite spots of the match comes up after Camacho starts beating the shit out of him. And something I didn't realize is that the wrestlers in the ring, if the commentators are loud enough, can seemingly hear the commentators.
yeah.
Because one of the commentators calls him a party pooper, and then he just yells, "Party pooper this!" And then
And then it's a
hits.
double underarm suplex.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, okay, that was cool. Um, the audience is good here. They do the Adam Rose chant to hype him out of the submission holds. Uh,
Yeah.
Camacho hits a big boot to get a near pin. Another submission hold happens. This is my problem with this match is that there's not enough meat in it. It's mostly bread, and these submission holds are
Yeah.
not. I think later we get an example of a match that does a great job with submission holds, but this is not my favorite. Um,
No, I don't think the match as a whole was great, but
yeah.
like the spot of like Adam Rose going for a cutter and just being caught by Camacho and held like a princess.
Oh yeah, well yeah, he gets
Yeah.
cradled willingly like a sick fuck.
Yeah.
We get a what usually would be a dueling chant between two wrestlers is just a dueling Adam Rose chant,
Yeah.
a party time all the time chant. This audience fucking loves this guy, which is funny because we're getting reports of him being considered a failure on main roster. Uh,
Yeah.
Rose eventually hits a comeback spot, hits a spine buster that looks pretty nice, hits the choo choo Bronco Buster,
Yeah.
um, which
And then just
is
I,
crazy.
I think I think it doesn't help the whole like laughing at him for being gay in 2014 because he does just
I mean, the Bronco Buster is a move that people have used, like X Pac.
well,
And
yeah.
the context of it has always been, haha, I'm putting my dick in your face. But when you really,
But
yeah, with this character, it has a double meaning.
yeah. Um on a more tasteful note, I do want to mention at this point I paused the show and remarked Adam Rose looked shockingly like Danny from Game Grumps.
That's pretty fucking true, honestly. I can't lie.
And then it made the rest of the match a lot more fun because I could imagine that instead of Adam Rose.
Yeah. And it's funny because El Local wears the Danny Sexbang attire.
Yeah.
um, but anyways, he hits the Choo Choo Bronco Buster before the party foul, which is headlock driver. It's like LA Knight's BFT
Yeah.
to get the win. Short match, really not much of anything.
Not really,
Dave
no.
Meltzer rates this 1.25 stars. Sure. Um,
Yeah, it it,
yeah,
it was a weak ending to say the least.
and a weak middle, but the start was pretty fun. um, but at post match, the Exotic Express come out to celebrate. He does the stage drive as he's carried off into the sunset. This is when I remark that like this is great for a small arena, but I feel like in a big one this would look slightly pathetic. Like if you're up in the 300 section of a basketball arena, I don't know if this
Yeah.
translates. But
No, I
anyways,
I don't think it does.
this is the last we see of both of these guys on NXT. This is actually Camacho's final match before being released for the first time.
Oh,
He
okay.
gets released like after this. He goes to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's Tongaloa. He teams with Tama Tonga. And they become the Gorillas of Destiny, who are one of the most successful gorillas, as in like guerrilla war. Um,
Okay.
it would be more funny if they were like gorillas. But
Yeah.
they become one of the most successful tag teams of the 2010s in New Japan. And of course, they become Bullet Club members, joining one of the most successful factions ever. And then
Hmm.
he and Tamatanga come to WWE in the mid 2020s, and he gets released. Tamatanga does not get released, but he has been released already.
Yeah.
So a successful career, but never really successful in the WWE. He had a tag title run in this previous run, but he kind of got the reputation of being one of the weaker in ring guys. And in 2026, it's really hard, especially now, to kind of be like at this time you could be not great in ring if you had a good act, but now it's pretty tough to keep TV time
Yeah.
unless you have a really overact. Adam Rose will be kind of pulling double duty in NXT and the main roster for like the next 2 years. It seems his like failure to get over on the main roster has caused him to like not leave NXT, but also not stop working on the main roster. Um,
Okay.
it doesn't work out for him so great. He keeps this gimmick the whole time. He does get released in 2016 after some pretty sketchy personal life stuff happens. He doesn't warn the company about some charges he gets, and then he asks for his
Oh.
release in 2016. He will stop wrestling in 2019. So,
Okay.
kind of a nothing burger uh,
Yeah.
of a guy.
Uh,
Yeah.
to end on a better note on this match, I did have the thought, because obviously the Rosebuds are all there cheering for Adam Rose, it felt like he was gonna win. I would have loved to see him lose and all of them just sadly
Be
carry him
sad.
out like a funeral procession.
Well, if you want to watch some like 2014-15 main roster WWE, you'll get a lot of that.
Okay.
A lot of him losing. He does not win kind of ever. Um, anyways, so that match is finally over. Um, we get a video package for Sami Zayn recapping his arrival match with Cesaro. I thought this was a really solid uh, promo for Zayn.
Oh yeah. No, I
It
agree. One of my notes is he's good at cutting promos and has great shots in it. I'm
he
excited.
he is such a lovable underdog at this time. Uh, he really manages to balance the kind of down on himself without going too far into self pity.
Yeah.
Um, I think self pity is where I kind of stop caring for you. But he has an authenticity to his character, and to this promo package, does a lot of good job of tying real life elements to in character elements of Sammy.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
he talks about how he's traveled, he's been a bad family member, bad brother, uh, all the other types of family he is
yeah.
to people. I forgot, I didn't list them all, but
I
all of
think
that
it's
was in
like
service.
son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of that was in service to getting here and being a WWE guy. Um, and he says the Cesaro match did a lot for him, but he felt empty after coming up short. But he says he needed to learn how to lose in order to learn how to win. And then the promo in the middle, there's a pretty sharp cut in the middle where he starts addressing Tyler Breeze for their number one contenders match later tonight. He said, I love this line. He just says, he's not his kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's pretty. Yeah, sure. And that contrasts
Like
really well with the Breeze promo later where he's like, I fucking hate that guy.
yeah. No, I will say I think his like authenticity going into it and like he doesn't pity himself by being like, "Oh, woe is me." He just talks about like I need to work harder.
Yeah,
Is I think
exactly.
we're starting to see the building blocks that will become not only like main stage Sami Zayn, but a lot of other main stage wrestlers at the moment. It feels like
Sure.
they take this idea of people want it to be a bit more mixed with real emotion tied to it rather than
Yeah.
uh the party bus.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Something I didn't do a ton of research into, but I know for a fact is that around this time WWE is mixing in a lot more real life elements. They are peeling the curtain back more and more, and a big example of that is the reality TV series they have, Total Divas, which follows a lot of the women on their roster and stuff, and it follows them in real
Yeah.
life. And I think that has been part of a trickle of integration along with social media. I think all of these factors are really causing them to like want to kind of provide more authentic characters. And on NXT being the pure wrestling show, you'd rather that compared to the '80s characters where
Yeah.
you're Bastion Booger, you're the Undertaker, the two
Well,
biggest acts, obviously.
and, and I think they set that up well with beating Too Cool, in that
Yes.
they showed like, yeah, we're not going to be the like gimmicks of the 90s,
Oh yeah,
early
that was the past.
2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so super agree with you there. But yeah, so when Sammy's addressing Breeze in this promo, he says it's everything is about what goes on in the ring, not what goes on in the cell phone. it's
Yeah.
I would say it's very 2014, but Sami Zayn still talks like that right now. Um,
Yeah.
but he finished it off by saying he will become the number one contender. Then we head into our next match. I love this little touch. Although I think they could have made a bigger deal of it somehow. The commentators could have. The ring announcer Eden, now Brandy Rhodes, informs us before this Ascension versus Kalisto and El Local tag title match that Tyler Breeze has entered the building. And
Yeah.
she says
And
it. You expect anything to happen, and then
yep.
and then we just move on to entrances.
The most that is acknowledged is Regal going, "My night's been made," and
Yeah,
then it's straight into Ascension.
I really like that idea. I think they could have. I like the idea of like, oh, he's vain and he wanted everyone to know he's in the building and stuff. I think we could have done even more with it. I want to like
Yeah.
Tyler Breeze clock countdown in the corner to when he shows up. I want when he shows up. I want to see like a selfie flash up on the
Yeah.
screen to show. I think he could be more over the top with that announcement.
I I
Or at
think
the very least, I think she needed to go. I have been told to inform
yeah.
everyone that Tyler Breeze is entered the building. I think we needed more perspective from the other people, um, rather than
I mean,
just like info dumped.
I feel like you could even like tying into that I've been informed, just have her like she's starting to introduce the Ascension match. Her
Yes.
phone goes off like she got a text and she like, "By the way, Tyler Breeze is now here.
Yeah. It
Back
does.
to the match."
It does. This is, I think, very. The problem with this is that it feels very scripted.
Yeah.
And since it's supposed to be an interruption of some sort, it's supposed to be intruding on your time, you want to be less. I have some notes about the acting of some people on this show later.
Yeah.
Um, but I think we lose some of the world building in this. I think it's a good impulse to do this Tyler Breeze thing, but we could have made it feel more natural to the world of NXT. Um,
Yeah.
but anyways, we move on to the Ascension versus Kalisto and El Local. The build up for this, I saw this match was going to be happening, and when I went to go do my research for this and see what the Ascension and Kalisto and El Local had been up to these past couple months, um, I'm gonna read some of my notes verbatim. March
Okay.
13th, the Ascension squashed some jobbers. Their next on screen, April 3rd, the Ascension squashed some jobbers.
Yep.
April 17th, the Ascension beat some jobbers. They announced that next week they'll have a trios tag match where the Ascension and uh, the Ascension and Corey Graves will take on Sami Zayn and the main roster's Usos. Okay, that's
Okay.
cool. That's a big match. Um, April 24th, the Ascension lose in six-man tag action with Corey Graves getting pinned to Sami Zayn and the Usos. May 8th, Kalisto debuts in NXT. They He debuts with El Local to win a tag match against some kind of NXT developmental guys. And then May 15th, the Ascension squash who are jobbers, but I know them as Buddy Murphy and Elias, who eventually become interesting. They cut a promo asking where the challengers are, which after going through months of NXT tapings, I'm also asking the same question.
Yeah.
Kalisto
It,
and El Local answer. They get a lucha chant, and the match is confirmed for this takeover.
okay.
So that's the
Yeah.
build. The
The,
also of note is that the Ascension have been doing main roster house shows, so the non-televised main roster shows,
okay.
where they've been getting wins. Reports of their matches were quote fairly negative, and it didn't connect with the fans in attendance. Um,
Yeah.
However,
It,
main roster teams at the time, like the Real Americans, Cesaro and Jack Swagger, and The Shield, were set perhaps to break up. They could be called up sooner rather than later. And they were actually rumored to be in a WrestleMania match against The Shield, tagging with Kane, which does not happen, but I think that would have been fun for them. But yeah, it's a whole
yeah.
lot of nothing in the end.
I will say the vibe I got from last arrival with them was like, all right, they're they're setting themselves up to be like the NXT tag team to beat, and then it's gonna like highlight the next tag team, and
Yeah.
then seeing them come in again against Kalisto and El Local, and I knew they were going to win again. I just went, does NXT not have a tag team division really?
So
Yet they have a tag team belt.
at this point, at this very moment in time that we are, no.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
However, for spoiler alert, the Ascension win the match. For the next
Yeah.
NXT Takeover event, there will be a tag team tournament to determine the number one contenders. So they are forced to make some tag teams, and
But
I will let you know who the tag team that faces them at the next Takeover is at the end of this match.
but if you do not have enough tag teams to
Yeah.
reliably give matches, why would your first thought then be, let's make a whole tournament for them?
Well, I think they make the tournament. They make this tournament in July so they can use it as an excuse to form a bunch of tag teams.
Okay.
So they can form that because they don't have. I guess like at this point in time, they're stuck between developmental and wrestling brand.
Yeah.
Um, so they're recruiting these people as developmental people, but that doesn't mean they have established tag teams yet. And
Yeah.
so they kind of just have to mash people together and see what works. And we will get some
It,
tag teams. There's actually one that I think could have been a fit for this show, but I think they didn't want to waste them yet. Enzo and Big Cass, but they don't get the opportunity yet. But anyways, yeah, the tag teams in NXT at this point, it's just such a nothing thing. And I think watching this match, the Ascension, presentation wise, they're really fucking cool.
yeah. No.
Their entrance is probably the
Amazing.
best on the show. Um,
Yeah.
they haven't really, partially because they don't get the chance, but also partially them in ring. They don't do a lot for me.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
if they're running these matches where they are taking 90% of the offense, you need them to have a really great offensive arsenal, and I don't really feel that.
yeah, cuz like their entrance great. I agree it's the best of the show. But like they start the show or their match so hot with like both members of the Ascension charging in to beat up
Yes.
Kalisto and El
Yeah,
Local.
they attack them before the bell, really.
And and that's I think my last note saying the Ascension was pulling a cool move is the start of the match, and that is not great.
No, yeah. Yeah, a quick rundown of the match. It'll be a very quick rundown of the match. There's not a lot to say. Um,
Yeah.
Ascension's entrance is cool. Kalisto enters and gets the with El Local. Sorry respect to my king. Um,
Yeah.
he gets the lucha chant started, which I just want to point out because he uses that in literally every act he will have forever. um,
Okay.
he always does the lucha chant. It's like the one thing he knows how to do. Yeah, Ascension beat down both of them, but right as the bell rings, to be big heels. The luchadors have a cool counter. They both hit double ranas. The double uppercuts through the ropes happen, which is
Yeah.
pretty. That's the best spot of the match by a
It
significant
had
portion, and it happens
great
30.
camera work.
Yeah, I did like how they before they hit the uppercuts, they're standing on the outside and they just start kind of like grunting and yelling, and then they hit it, which
Yeah.
is that's a cool character beat. Um, but that happens about 30 seconds into the match, and it's pretty much the only notable thing that occurs. Uh, the rest of it, especially from the Ascension side, Kalisto does some cool stuff.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Kalisto rules,
the
and I'm sad
the Ascension
that
are just
yeah,
bad. They're not good. I'm saying it. They're bad. Kalisto's good. Ascension are bad. El Local is
yeah,
also bad.
yeah. I'm sad to hear it sounds like Kalisto is not going to be staying at NXT for much longer, or we won't see much more of him,
I didn't
because
say
he was the
that.
most entertaining part of the match.
I didn't say that. Let's keep going. The Ascension.
Okay.
I think also not to bully the guy from 12 years ago, but I think Victor, the Ascension small guy in particular, in ring does not do a whole lot for me. His move set is just like Connor has the power at least, and they
Yeah.
describe Victor as like the scalpel of the Ascension or whatever. But like to me, it doesn't. His stuff is not compelling enough, nor is it like not compelling in like a heel way. Like, ooh, I want to see you stop. It's like I'm kind of bored, so that's why I want to see you stop.
Yeah.
Um, uh, on the outside, Connor does have a cool move where he slingshots Kalisto into the ropes.
Yeah.
This and he bounces back, and then he tries it a second time, and Kalisto like counters it with this cool move. He goes in to try and make the tag, and he is stopped, which was like devastating to me because I wanted anything to happen.
Yeah. No,
um,
I saw them interrupt that tag and I was like, oh, is this just gonna be a locale is there for decoration?
Yeah. So Kalisto eventually gets a Hurricane Rana, tags in El Local, and then I start typing a note that says El Local looks pretty bad in his suit, and then mid typing that up, I say Andy fucked up his springboard. he
Yeah, yeah,
he gets in and immediately he goes for a springboard crossbody off the second rope, and he's just like not close. Um, this this night had a couple of like weird wrestling spots. Like I don't want to say botchy, but just like not perfect stuff. It happens in the Sami Zayn Tyler Breeze match too, but they like recover from that well because they know what they're doing. And here it just like looks like shit. Like El Local is
yeah,
not great. He hits a cool second rope moonsault.
yeah,
But overall, he's just not the cleanest. Locale goes for a dive on Victor. Victor ducks, hits the STO, fall of man for the win. 1, 2, 3. And that is your match. Any final thoughts to bury this one?
um, I hope to see more of Callisto. I hope Locale hits his stuff better next time we see him, if we see him again.
Yeah.
I hope the Ascension gets beat the next time we see them.
Yeah. So the Ascension, I kind of I'm tired of them at this point. They have good presentation, but their matches are a waste of time routinely on these cards at this point. It's two in a row now, and they're this is
Yeah,
3 months later. This is 3 months later, and there's not been any evolution. There's not been a that was harder this time, but they still prevail. It's just like it's not conflict and
yeah,
evenness. That's what's compelling. These squash matches, their moveset is not interesting enough to be compelling. They don't do moves in a cool enough way where I go, well, it wasn't close, but did you see that shit? It's just not.
Yeah.
But there's no tag teams, so they who are they gonna lose it to? It's just it's frustrating to me. I also said it's kind of hard to judge their quality as a tag team for the main roster potential because they just don't. Their matches are all 5 minutes long, and they don't have to sell. They don't have to
Yeah.
take offense. So it's like, who is this benefiting? It's nobody.
I wrote down for a developmental program, why haven't they developed?
Exactly. This is yeah. It's just like there's no, and it's not entertaining nor is it developed. So nothing is happening. Um,
Anyways, promo from Tyler Breeze.
well, before we get into
Oh
that,
yeah.
I do want to break some news for you. This
Oh.
is El Local, who is actually Ricardo Rodriguez, who was Alberto Del Rio's manager for a long time. El Local is released July 30th, 2014. We will not be seeing him again.
Yeah.
The Ascension are still tag champs. Kalisto, we will see again, though, as
Hey.
the next takeover Fatal 4 Way. The Ascension will be defending their titles against the Lucha Dragons, which is Kalisto and Sin Cara. So Kalisto has just swapped out his luchadors.
Okay.
And we will see that next time. This match gets 1.25 stars from Dave Meltzer. I think that's generous. This
The
was
quarter is generous.
horrific. Um, but yeah, that's let's bury that match. Let's not go back. Yes, the Tyler Breeze video package. He, before we get into it, he is so fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah. I
He's
loved
so
this
fucking
promo.
good. I think he is, and I have the benefit of the future. But to me, I see he and Bo Dallas as like, oh, these similar like heel acts on NXT or whatever. I see a world of potential for him that I see the ceiling in Dallas. I think
Yeah.
Breeze could have been. I don't know if he's winning world. I ever saw him as a world title guy on the main roster, but U.S. title, intercontinental, tag teams, which he does do some tag team stuff. I think he has so much mileage out of this character, the Prince Pretty character.
Yeah.
He gets this video package. He says who he is, who you dream of, and what you crave. Um, he is backstage with a pre-fame Alexa Bliss, and he asks if she wants a picture, and she's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then he goes, "Of yeah, take it of me."
Yeah. Specifically, he says of me, and then hits the like Zoolander like pose.
Yeah, he's so good. He says, "I have a note that just begins with it's 2014." He says, "Everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has a
Yeah.
camera, but not everyone has a camera with someone who is gorgeous."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then what kind of as we go into similar to the Sami Zayn package from earlier, the first half is about him, the second half is about his match with Sami Zayn. As we head into this half, we start developing the story that we will get for their match later tonight, which is he says people don't assume he is tough, um, but he is, which is really what's going to play into this match later. The match later is a big respect for Tyler Breeze, not just as a character, pretty Prince Pretty, etc. It really gives him some respect as a competitor that I think is really essential. He
Hmm.
says Sammy is a perpetual loser, while Breeze succeeds in everything he decides to do. And then I also put that this promo package ends up having some very 2014 zooms.
Yeah.
The editing's very 2014. But anyways, that leads us to Sami Zayn versus Tyler Breeze in a number one contenders match for the NXT Championship. Now, the build for this blends a lot into the build for the NXT title match we get later with Neville and Kidd. Um, Sami Zayn, after the Cesaro match, he has a mini feud with Corey Graves, but he um, then moves on. He has that tag match with the Usos against Corey Graves and the Ascension. He wins in the 6-man tag match. And then on May 8th, we have a number one contender battle royale with like 20 dudes in it. Didn't bother writing down the names. Um,
Okay.
it was too many people. But the thing you need to know is that Tyler Breeze, Sami Zayn, and Tyson Kidd all hit the floor at quote unquote the same time.
Shut. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you watch the video, very clearly Tyler Breeze hits it last. But they all hit the floor at the same time, and that's the May 8th episode. And they make a triple threat number one contenders match for May 15th. On May 15th, they have the number one contenders match, and Breeze gets pinned by Tyson Kidd, which earns him the number one contendership. Sami Zayn was diving in the ring trying to break up the pin, but he didn't get there in time, and he is heartbroken once again as Sami Zayn is one to be.
Yeah.
Breeze also on this episode says Canadians lack the DNA to be super good looking, which is
Okay. Okay.
which is relevant because
Wild.
Kid and Zayn are Canadian, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then on May 22nd, Breeze interrupts the Sami Zayn promo where he points out that he didn't pin him. Zayn asks for a match that very night, but Breeze says he doesn't want to. Instead, the number one contenders match is made for Takeover. We have
Okay.
both of these, as we get into the match, both of these men have new music.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn has the music that he uses to this day, his fucking ska ass shit. The and I was very kind of like stun locked because I know at NXT Arrival he didn't have the music, but I was like very confused because the audience, the crowd was not like doing the normal chant they do for the music where they go like oh, 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 oh. They were just chanting Ole, which of course is a nod to his gimmick as El Generico before WWE. But like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's weird. They're not doing the oh, 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 oh. And then I looked and I was like, oh, it's because this is the first time he uses the song ever. And
Yeah.
he's true, well and truly in prime ska mode. He's doing the kicks. He's got the checkerboard.
He was loving it.
He's having just the time of his fucking life here. Um, and then Tyler Breeze Tyler Breeze enters, and I love his entrance so much.
Can I just say?
Oh my god, it's Tyler! Look, everyone, it's
Yeah.
Tyler. That's so good.
This is the best possible intro he could have ever had. The fact he's singing it, the fact that it's all about how awesome he is.
Yeah, and I don't know if he sang it, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, the commentators say, is that Tyler Breeze? And then it's like, yeah, that's Tyler
I
Breeze's
think
voice.
it
He
is.
sang his own intro.
I mean, it's pretty awesome. Uh, yeah, I also note that his tassels are out of control.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I also put in the I waxed poetic here a bit. I just said Tyler Breeze should have been so much more. Watching him go, he's not Sami Zayn level in ring, but he is pretty damn good in the ring. He's very
Yeah.
confident. But anyways, we start the match. Sami Zayn has the upper hand to start in most of the chain wrestling. I also note here that at the start of this match, we're not even 30 minutes into the show and there are 3 matches left.
Yeah.
There's an hour and a half
No.
left of the show. Um,
I saw that and I was like, either one of these matches is going to be an hour long or they've got some major promos in between.
there was like one big segment in between,
Yeah.
but they just give these 3 matches a lot of time, the remaining 3. But
Yeah.
I was at this point, I'm just like, get the squashes off the fucking show. Showcase your depth for real. Breeze grabs Sammy's hair, and then at one point to get out of an attack, but Sammy does it back. Zayn hits a corner face scrub that looks pretty good. Zayn hits the floor hard after getting tossed out the ring, where Breeze
Yeah.
gets some control. Breeze's hair tie falls out, and we get his hair down, to which the announcers are befuddled.
Yeah, they're like, I've never seen his hair down.
Which is actually really impressive that his hair I mean, I'd have to go back and do more research, but it's impressive he's managed to keep his hair tie in throughout multiple wrestling matches
Yeah.
up to this point. Um, Breeze hits a cool bulldog into the middle turnbuckle. Zayn breaks out of a submission, dumps Breeze out the ring by pulling the top rope down. He goes for the
Yeah.
Arabian press and nails it, unlike when he tried it on Cesaro and he got fucked into the ramp.
Yeah.
It looked really pretty. Breeze hit kind of his head on the ramp a little bit, but he looked all right. That Arabian press is one of the coolest moves he doesn't really do now. He hits a cool crossbody. He goes for the blue thunder bomb. Breeze counters it with elbows. Breeze goes to run off the ropes, but Sammy pulls him back by the belt and hits the blue thunder bomb for a near fall. That was awesome, I thought.
Yeah. No,
Bre-
I thought it looked amazing, and if you listen to it, you can hear Breeze going, "Hold on tight" right before it.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
in these smaller venues, you can hear the sometimes when they call their
But
spots.
I love hearing the spots be called, and like it looked amazing, so I didn't mind at all. Cause
It's
like
not a
the
big deal with these.
pullback of the pants was
It was
like a
really good.
beautiful effect.
Yeah. Uh, Breeze is trending on Twitter, which shows you how over he
Yeah.
is. That's pretty cool. Not Sammy, that fucking idiot.
Forever underdog.
Yeah, Sammy gets caught by a gut kick, and then Breeze hits a nice impaler DDT. Uh,
Yeah, that.
Breeze hits like a. Then he hits a corner. Zayn's in the corner on the floor, and he lifts him up for a power bomb. Kind of. This is like a game that like sorry, this is like a move I have in like every 2K game, um,
Yeah.
where he pulls him out the corner and he hits a great power bomb. And
Mm,
I like the detail from William Regal here. He says that the difference was that he didn't. It was a near fall, and Breeze might have won if he applied more pressure to the shoulders. I like when we get
yeah.
into that technical stuff. Breeze,
I, I
yeah,
I do also want to say, this entire match, Sammy had some amazing kickouts.
oh
Like
yeah,
he
Sammy's
was
really good
fully
at
flipping
those.
over, and
Yeah,
it looked like he had like a charge under him, exploding him out of it. That like,
yeah.
I love seeing a
He
kick out
he
like that.
he. At this time, I think what separates Sammy is that everything is intentional and nothing is low effort.
Yeah,
He really is fully in the moment at all times. Uh, Breeze starts hammering Zayn in the corner with punches, but Zayn hits his corner exploder suplex. Uh,
yeah,
at one point, we get the yeah boo spot, classic. Uh, Breeze whips Zayn towards the referee, but Zayn stops himself
yeah,
before getting in the corner, and then Breeze, like a scumbag, tries to roll him up. I love that. Uh,
yeah.
we get
Specifically, the fact that it was a whip into a reversal into a further reversal into the
Yeah, it
ref.
was awesome. We get some awesome counter wrestling here, which
Yeah,
also includes a blue thunderbomb counter into multiple backside switches, and then Breeze eventually hits a big super kick that Zayn
which
just about kicks out
yeah,
of. Lots of these two are really good at detecting the momentum of the match through the crowd and really holding on to like the moment and not getting ahead of themselves. This is when Regal really starts putting over that Breeze is going to get more respect from the locker room for this performance, which leads to Sami Zayn bitch slapping Tyler Breeze.
yeah,
Just full disrespect. Very Cesaro esque. Just bitch slapping him. Breeze goes for an Irish whip, but Zayn holds on to the top rope and just starts screaming at him. I don't know what got into Sammy in the back half of the match, but I really loved it. Um, he there's a duck of a kick that almost turns into a sit out suplex power bomb that doesn't really work. Sammy I love this spot. I've seen him hit before, but he you know puts Breeze's arms through his legs and then he
yeah,
gets to lift him up and then he goes for it, but then they kind of tumble over, but then he kind of saves it. I don't know. It
yeah.
was it was, you could tell they fucked it up, but and then when he hits the suplex into the powerbomb, he doesn't really catch Breeze right.
Yeah,
Um,
it looked like Breeze slid out of his hands, but I
yeah,
think it fit the storytelling of how exhausted they
yeah,
were
it
that
it was like messy, but it was not bad.
yeah.
But it was noticeable. You could tell, and it gets a. I kind of like interpret it as like there were some hiccups, but he lands it, and the sheer audacity of attempting that move gets in. This is awesome in NXT chant,
Yeah.
which is acceptable. Zayn looks for the haluva kick, but Breeze rolls to the outside, to which Zayn does a dive over the top.
Can
Breeze,
I
yeah,
read my note for that section? I
of
said,
course.
Breeze, no, don't leave the ring. Sammy's gonna hit you with another flip, and you'll eat the ramp again. And then one note lower, alas.
he just he just doesn't he doesn't he didn't do his tape study on Sami Zayn. But this leads
And it
us.
looked like his head hit hard on
Yeah,
that
it looked
ramp.
tough. Like, I don't know, he had a tough night, I think. Then we
Yeah.
get to the finish of this match, which I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. Sammy looks for the haluva kick. Breeze ducks down, like protects his head, but puts his elbows up, and then
Yeah.
that leads him to inadvertently hit Sammy low. And then Breeze hits the beauty shot to win.
Yeah. I see. It felt a little weird, like going from a low blow into the beauty shot, but also I felt like it fit Breeze's character, and also personally, I love the look of the beauty shot with the tassels.
Beauty shot's a great move, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
think,
it felt kind of like a lot of energy, and then just kind of popped finish of the match.
yeah, I think I like the idea of the finish. I think it wasn't executed to 100% because I think the audience looked a little more confused of what happened than like immediately like knowing, oh, he fucking, like, I think the ref could have sold like, hey, you hit him low a little better, like sold that a
Yeah.
little more. I just don't, I like the idea of the finish. I just don't know if they executed it to the highest extent. And it kind of left the audience feeling slightly flat for the finish, even though they're really into the match.
Yeah, cause I'm looking at the frame like right as the pin happens, and you can feel like some members of the audience are like enthralled and like yelling one way or another, while others are kind of looking around like, "Uh, okay,
Yeah, but
yeah,
still a really good match. Not on the level of Cesaro versus Sammy from Arrival, but fantastic match that made Breeze look
yeah,
really good. After
oh
the
yeah,
match, after the replays, Sammy's still holding his groin, just so you
yeah,
know what happened. Um, this match gets a 3.5 star rating from Meltzer. I think that's fair. It's pretty good.
yeah,
Um, some notes on this. After this match, Tyler Breeze was reported to have made himself an NXT Takeover in his match. It appears the top brass of the company has noticed, and his stock within the company is now apparently way up. So perhaps
okay,
big things for Breeze incoming. Um, so next we get an advertisement for NXT Fallout, where Triple H will have an interview after the show, and also an ad for WWE Legends House at 10:30 at night. Do you
yeah.
know
What's that?
what? Oh, I was so happy you asked this question. Legends House is, they have all this programming on the network, this original programming they
Yeah,
want. It is very simply they put 8 WWE legends and make them all live in the same house
gee, wait,
and
no, wait.
see what interactions they have.
Whose idea was this, and why did they think it would be a good idea?
Fuck if I know. I never watched it. Legends who were in the Legends house include Roddy Piper, Gene Okerlund, Pat Patterson, Jimmy Hart, a bunch of old people, Hacksaw Jim
Yeah,
Duggan. Um, yeah, I mean, the show had relatively good reviews. It's got a 7.9 on IMDb, but not for me. It goes one
Well,
season, 8 episodes, I believe.
yeah, I mean that feels like one of those things. Like I guess if you want a bit more of like Rod Piper, tune into it,
Yeah,
but
I'm
they can't
sure
have anybody
if you
that
were
big because they're on the road.
well, yeah, these are all retired people for sure.
Yeah.
All these people, and it's like if you grew up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, I can see why you'd want to get more content of your favorite guys. But it's just kind of weird. I'm sure it was nice and fun. But yeah, that's Legends House.
Okay.
So backstage, we get seen Bret Hart coaching up his niece Natalya and Tyson Kidd, who is married to Natalya. But before we can get to the women's title match, we have Lana, the ravishing Russian, come out for a promo. And this is, listen, I love me some Rusev now. And
Yeah.
then this is the second time he's pissed me off at NXT TakeOver.
Can, can I say?
Yeah.
I kind of really loved this segment a lot.
Okay. Good for you.
And I do want to say, I looked up what Rusev actually said.
Yes. Last
It
time
it
or this time?
this time he says Rusev Yudra,
Yes. This
Yusev
is his
Makra,
Machka. Yes.
Machka. Thank you. And it means Rusev strikes, Rusev crushes, based on Rocky Four Drago.
Yes. This I did.
So
This I did know only because this becomes his catchphrase for like ever, basically.
yeah,
That phrase. But yeah, we get Lana comes out. The ravishing. Can I also mention? I neglected to mention this last time, but
mm,
Lana is a real name C.J. Perry. She is from Gainesville, Florida,
yes. It
and
this
you
promo
can
made it evident.
maybe tell by her accent work that she's not actually Russian. It's not bad accent work, but it is not perfect.
Yeah,
Rusev comes out and he waves like the Russian flag with like a coat of arms on it. Rusev, by the way, will later just kind of become Bulgarian, um, but they try and make him Russian here
yeah,
for some reason. The Rusev is, I think, a really good talent. This is not yet. They haven't really perfected the act here. Although this segment, he looks great. He waves the Russian flag. Lana says Russia is expanding their power across Europe. Rusev has expanded his power across Raw and SmackDown and is now back in NXT. They put a big old picture of Putin on the screen.
I was gonna say when it got to the Putin PNG, when they're both looking at it like longingly, I was crying because it's such a like you can tell they just ripped the first PNG
Yeah,
they
they
could for
they
it.
Googled Vladimir Putin, downloaded Putin.png, and they just put that shit up there.
I
Um,
I do want to also say the crowd was chanting great things like USA when Rusev first
yes,
appeared, and then also Eiffel Tower at one point.
yes, they were.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. All of this leads up to Mojo Rawley coming out. Um, he has an American flag that I believe is smaller in size,
it is.
just really making him look like a loser. I then say, "Oh God, he has a mic."
Yeah.
I then write, "2014 is pretty late for this gimmick." And then he says, "In the USA, we don't get hype, we stay hype." And then he runs down to the ring and just gets fucking Machka kicked to hell, man.
he he does also say before that, I'm gonna shove this flag right up your Putin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed this. And though I also have a certain love for silly bullshit, I think I was just like, fuck. I watched this awesome Sami Zayn Tyler Breeze match, and now I'm gonna get Natalya, Charlotte, and then I'm gonna get the main event. and they have an hour and a half total to do all those things, and then it's like this shit happens, and I go, oh. It just
Yeah,
it brings the momentum of the show to a stop for me, even if it's like this is a TV segment. You don't put this on the pay per view.
no, I hard agree. As someone who is only watching the pay-per-views, I enjoyed it, but for you watching the weeklies and this, I would have just put this as like a random TV. You
You
didn't
just
need to put this on a pay-per-view.
you do this in
They
minute
do
20 of
nothing.
NXT. Yeah, so Mojo gets in. He gets his fucking shit kicked in. He gets kicked. Accolade. I said he probably's got like a piss dribbling down his pants, and his girl dumped him, and he's not going to prom with him anymore. He's just a total
Yeah.
loser here. Um, I did laugh. The part that made me laugh was actually not really the promo parts at the start. It was Mojo running in and the camera following him running in, sliding into the ring, and him just getting immediately kicked. That was what was funny
Yeah.
to me as a Mojo Rawley at this point hater, because I didn't love the CJ Parker match, and now I don't love this segment.
No.
It's just
No,
there's
I mean,
too much filler on this show, and it doesn't need to be. It's
yeah.
2 hours, and it's a pay per view. A 2 hour pay per view is you can do 5 or 6 matches and it'd be perfect, but they just put this
Well, they
bullshit.
did 5 matches.
Yeah, but they could do 5 matches and give more like 3 matches. They give like 15 to 20 minutes, and the first two get like 5 minutes. If you want to give the
Yeah.
first 2 matches 15 or 20 minutes as well, that fills your 2 hours. Instead, we have to have all this filler.
Yeah. I will also say a part of what I enjoyed about this is the just dunking on Mojo Rawley because I
Yeah,
was hoping to see like this turn into a brawl between Rusev and Rawley, and then it just went nowhere.
no,
So not
fuck that
only
guy.
did it interrupt the show's momentum, it just kind of like the most they got was fighting on the ramp, and
Yes,
even that was like
not
nothing.
not a lot going on. Yeah, so Rusev stands tall over him. He dumps Mojo out the ring. His music starts playing, and then he goes out to kick his ass, so his music stops playing. Then he leaves him alone again, and then Lana's like, "Go get him." So his music starts playing, and then he goes out to put the accolade on him, so his music stops playing.
Yeah.
Um, and then he just keep locks in the hold on the ramp, and then he says, "Rusev Futria, Rusev Machka." Um, uh, they're really trying to put over that like Lana has all of the like power over him, like
Yeah.
he will do what she wants.
I
The funniest part
I
of this
wrote
segment to me is that afterwards, when we pan to the commentators, Regal looks like he shat his pants.
okay, I have two things to say. One, I wrote down if Regal was drunk last pay per view, he looks geeked this one. He is
Yes.
scared and looking around. Two,
Yeah.
concerning Lana, I wrote that she's using Rusev like a stand user.
Yes.
Like, it,
Yes.
it does not feel like Rusev has his own agency, more just Lana is commanding him to kill people.
Yeah, this is very like 80s like foreign heel booking, and it's just like to me it's like it's just like
Yeah.
2014, it's late for this even. Like people are like kind of at least I mean I know I'm here now, but like you got like fucking Sami Zayn on this show, but we're still doing like the evil Russian
Yeah.
shit.
No,
Um,
you could have convinced me this was from the 90s, 2003.
yeah, if I just put like a screen filter on this shit, you wouldn't
Yeah.
know. But anyways, that segment mercifully ends. Um, we get Ric Flair hyping up Charlotte backstage, which leads us into a promo package about the NXT Women's Title Tournament that occurred to lead us to this finals match between Natalya and Charlotte. And so, a bit of background on how we got to the title tournament is that Paige, as I said last time, wins the Divas title on the Raw after WrestleMania. And then J- the general manager, JBL, says, we got to vacate it. It wouldn't be fair to the women of NXT now. So she reluctantly vacates the title. Keep that in your mind because I'm gonna have a rant about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But anyways, we get this 8 woman tournament to crown a new NXT Women's Champion. They show us the semifinals in this promo package where Charlotte beats Alexa Bliss. Natalya beats Sasha Banks. Banks, of course, who is teaming with Charlotte at the time. In the match, what actually happens is Charlotte tries to help Banks, but it kind of goes wrong. So
Yeah.
we're teasing dissension between those two. Um, and in this promo package, we really put over what I think is the story of the match here is we have these 2 women as the representatives for their respective wrestling dynasty families. And this match is not just Natalya versus Charlotte, but Flair versus Hart,
Yeah.
which I think, all things considered, they do a relatively good job of walking the fine line of using the family prestige to elevate this match without totally making it about the wrinkly
Family. Yeah.
old men who accompany Brett accompanies Natalia and Rick accompanies um, Charlotte, and I think they are included just the right amount.
I no, I agree. I'll jump a little ahead and say
Yeah,
this was my favorite match of the night.
I
Like I
totally. It's my second favorite, but it's a very close second favorite. This match is
I
really fucking good.
like not only are they both wrestling amazing, having great energies, but like you said, it feels like Ric Flair and Bret Hart are there, but not intrusive. Or when they are, it's usually as like
Br-
side things to the wrestling.
Brett is certainly not intrusive. Ric Flair's gonna be Ric Flair, so he's doing his shit. Brett
Woo!
Brett's gonna look mildly annoyed, like realized he forgot to lock the door at kind of all
Yeah,
times. That's just Brett. But yeah, in this promo package, um, what I find interesting is that they have all kind of 4 of the competitors doing these talking heads. They're talking about, both their relationships to each other and the family. There's a lot of interesting dynamics here, but one interesting thing I want to point out is that everybody's doing their talking heads at like a WWE facility except for Brett, who's just like at his home.
yeah,
And this is because, or at least I will speculate, this is because Brett's addition to this match is actually rather late. Um,
mm,
they don't figure out, he has reported scheduling issues. Um, and at points they think Brett's not going to make it, and they were just going to have Jim the Anvil Neidhart accompany Natalia, who is Natalia's father, also a historic wrestler, but not of the prestige of Brett.
yeah.
Brett is, the Hart. Rick is the Flair. Um, so even though it's her uncle, Brett is still the person you'd want here. But they figure out the scheduling within the last week, right before the show. So that's why I speculate Brett is doing his interview from evidently his home or something, or an Airbnb. Um,
Because it was kind of like a hey, before you fly over,
yeah,
send us something.
let's get
Yeah,
something in. But anyways, um, yeah. So this promo package puts over the wrestling prestige of both of these families. Um, Lots of interesting stuff. And then before the match starts, we get Paige coming out with the Divas title. And if last NXT Arrival we saw Paige as this awesome character, badass women's champion, this is a incredibly sanitized promo from her.
yeah.
It is
I
doesn't feel like the same character whatsoever.
I think the best summary of it is it pans from her holding the Divas belt to a sign that says anti diva,
Yeah. Like it just
and
doesn't make like it's just I don't really understand what the purpose of her cutting this promo before the match is, because
neither.
she has been around. She's had matches on NXT since the arrival, since having to vacate the title, and she's here tonight. Why couldn't she just wrestle to drop the title?
Yeah.
Why did we have to do a vacation? Why couldn't Charlotte just beat her? Maybe you have Sasha Banks interfere too. You don't have to do it clean because I know we want to protect her as the main roster women's champion. But like, if you're gonna vacate the belt off of her, don't keep her around.
Yeah.
Let her go
It felt
up.
really weird having it, and not only having it go as long as it
It's
did,
so
because I
long.
think in total it was like I would like to say like a 5 minute
It
promo
was like the
where it
length of
just
Camacho versus Adam Rose.
yeah, and it's that same sentiment like you were saying. Like I would rather have 5 matches that were like 10 to 15 minutes that solidly filled the time than
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's just like it's a sanitized promo. She's talking very generally, saying like, "Oh, the holder of the NXT Women's Belt is the holder to like the key of the future, so this will be memorable." It's just filler content. It's not compelling. It's not related to her personal character at all. They had to have Stephanie McMahon in for the arrival match, and I guess we just need somebody to contextualize all of our women's matches. Um,
yeah,
and I just don't think this needed to happen. If she wanted to come out after the match and like give a pat on the back or something to Charlotte, who ends up winning this match, that'd be one thing. But this promo to me is just so nothing, and it actively hurts Paige as a character. Like she
yeah,
shouldn't. If she vacated the title, she shouldn't give a shit about this anymore. Frankly,
yeah. Or like even if she is gonna cut a promo, I would rather it be Paige cutting the promo
yeah,
than like the script given to Paige.
exactly. It's just like a script that could have been written for anybody that Page gets, rather than even if it was a script, it could be a Page promo, but it was just like a general promo. Literally anybody could have said this, and that's not what you want out of your characters.
Yeah.
Um, she, and sorry to keep harping on this. She had a match the previous week on NXT. Literally, why isn't she? What why
Oh,
isn't
because she can't
fuck?
fight in matches.
Because I get it, but also I don't get it. It's stupid. Fucking,
Yeah.
especially because she's the first NXT Women's Champion, and She ended up holding it for over 300 days. It would have been close to like 300. It almost would have been a full year. Not quite, I don't think, but almost a full year if she kept it to this point. Can you imagine how big it would be for like Charlotte if she got to dethrone the first NXT Women's Champion who held it for a year? That really puts a lot of prestige on a person. But instead, I mean, it ends up working out because Natalia and Charlotte have this awesome match, which,
Yeah.
in of itself gives her prestige. But, but the whole point of title reigns is to, either to one, make the person who holds the title, but two, make the next person who beats them.
I, I just think NXT is still in a point of like they don't know how much their belt should be worth. Because I mean,
Yeah.
Ascension has been holding their tag belt basically uncontested,
I mean, they're holding it hostage. Yeah, it's pretty
and
horrific.
I mean like I think you could have done something great with Paige, like getting interfered with, the belt being stolen,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like how she could have come out with Natalya and been like, you know what? I hope you beat Flair.
Yeah. I
Like,
don't know. Just add any character direction to this rather than just yeah. It's just nothing. All right. Well, we'll move on. Get to the match because the
yeah.
match, as you said, your favorite match of the night. This match is excellent. Charlotte enters, and this is um something.
uh, yeah,
This is.
the music is really good.
I mean, it's the music she keeps for like ever with like mild edits. But yeah, it's the edit of Ric Flair's original music, but this time a little more flashy. Charlotte, I think, is a really interesting person here. I've always liked her in ring work. Her wrestling's really great, and even here in her youth, she's doing a lot of good stuff. I've never been huge on the Charlotte character, but she hasn't found that character yet. Right now, she is very much Ric Flair's daughter.
Yeah.
Even though in promos she's like trying to like not say that, in this match specifically, she comes out with him and like post match she like hugs him like five separate times. Um, she
I
doesn't
will say,
have the confidence and may I say aura that she does today.
yeah. No, I wrote that down. Like, the difference between both of their entrances is like Charlotte is walking side by side with Rick, where it's kind of like them together, while Brett purposefully is like walking behind
Yeah.
Natalya to be like, no, it is her match,
And
and I am here.
it helps Natalia's like a multi-year vet at this point. She's been on main roster
Yeah.
too. She's not an NXT talent. So she definitely has that confidence and presentation, um, much more than Charlotte does at this point. Um, but like Charlotte without like she doesn't have like the robe she gets, which ironically is more Ric Flair, but it makes her kind of look like she doesn't really know what to do a little more. She did like the cartwheel spot she does before she gets in the ring. I'm like, okay. Um,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fine. It's cool. But she doesn't really have the confidence that she eventually will. But as she gets into the match, she definitely gains it and definitely gets into her stride. Also,
Oh, definitely.
fun touch in this match. The referee is Charles Robinson, who in TNA wrestling was Ric Flair's pupil and was Lil Nate.
Aw,
So that's
that's
a
fun.
fun. Everybody here knows each other. Um, Natalia enters, and when she brings out Brett, he just kind of gives a high five. He's in like a not tucked in button down shirt and like
Yeah.
like jeans. He's like, like Rick like dressed up, put on the suit and shit, and Brett's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Yeah. Yeah, I really I love the difference between them because like it's that bit
Mm-hmm.
of like set dressing that doesn't take away from the match but adds it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
That
Brett is this kind of stern kind of guy, and Rick's very over the top, but Rick manages to contain himself and make the moment about Charlotte, which is great.
yeah.
Um, Brett though is getting more chance than Rick is, so that's notable. That I wouldn't say generally in wrestling history. Ric Flair's with the general public more popular, but maybe with the sicko audience, it's Brett. Before the match starts,
Yeah.
Byron Sexton calls them premier divas, and I know this is going to be a problem throughout much of this, but I'm just so like it's such a fucking culture shock to go back to this point in time.
Yeah.
Even though this is the NXT Women's Championship, it's like, what are we doing? Anyways,
Well, and I feel like that's the time that you can feel is like we have Paige holding the Divas Championship after vacating the Women's
yeah, it's like
Championship.
she's going backwards even though she's going forwards. Like she's
And
ascending but descending.
I will say credit to the commentators. They only mix up their names once.
Yeah, and you know what? There's like four people out there, so maybe it's like a little harder. um, but yeah, this match is really excellent. This is a very mat based, submission based match.
Yeah.
It is a lot of chain wrestling back and forth. Natty gets in early. Natty gets in a leg lock, which sets up the sharpshooter for later. These very intentional stuff where they're working the body part that eventually they're kind of uh, finishers, the figure four and sharpshooter respectively, target. Smart stuff. Um,
Mhm.
Natty at one point flips out of her leg being caught on like a kick and locks in another leg lock, but Charlotte reverses it into a headlock, which I thought was a cool spot.
Yeah.
Natty hits a woo when she locks in the headlock, which is and then laughs about it, which is that was great trolling.
She, Charlotte also before that yells at Natty, "You're a bastard" or something like that, and
Yeah,
the audience goes, "Ooh."
yeah. A lot of these two have a lot of the brilliant thing in making this about the familial rivalry is that it really has been able. You turn up the heat of the match to 11 right from the get go. You know the story going in. They don't have to set it up for you. Hearts versus Flares, and they want to prove their dominance, and we don't have to waste time trying to set that up.
Yeah.
Natalia has a cool wheelbarrow roll up spot, and
Yeah,
then
that was
puts in
awesome.
a leg waist lock with some pinning combos, keeping Charlotte on her toes. Charlotte breaks out with just some ground and pound hits to the head. But I love Natalia almost locking in a cross arm breaker, to which the commentators like freak out about it, uh, with kind of
Yeah.
the implication that if she locked that in, it would end the match. And Charlotte scrambles away and looks kind of shaken up that she almost let herself lose. That's a very like MMA, UFC kind of like, oh, if you lock in like an armbar like that, it's gonna you have to tap. There's no escape, even if it's not specifically her finisher. It shows her smartness and versatility as a submission wrestler. Um,
Mhm.
Match starts to get ugly, but in a good way. They start just slapping the shit out of each other at some point.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Rick starts
And,
wooing at Natalia.
and then the ref has to tell him to like leave the
He's like,
ring
"Hey,
cuz he's
shut
like,
the fuck up, man." He's right there.
yeah.
Brett is not interacting nearly as much as Rick. He's just happy to be here, happy to support his
Yeah.
niece. He's Brett legitimately is just like the uncle who gets invited to his niece's soccer game and he shows up. He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
way to go." uh, Charlotte puts in a figure four headlock, which is really cool looking. Oh, Natalia also goes for a choke at one point, and then Charlotte hits a backpack stunner, which looks really cool.
Which, yeah, that was amazing looking.
Regal calls it the NXT Ladies Championship.
Yeah.
He's British, man. I gotta give something up to him, but he's not stellar commentary wise in these women's matches. Um,
No.
Charlotte gains some control on Natalia for a bit. They do these switching abdominal stretches, and Natalia starts kind of one upping Charlotte. Charlotte knocks in the abdominal stretch. Natalia switches it and then picks up her leg while doing it to kind of show off. Natalia goes for a backslide, which leads into a Charlotte drop kick.
Yeah, and
Um,
that looked
that's a
that
great
looked
one.
like it was a hard hit cuz like it was an amazing spot.
Yeah, I loved it. Natalia hits a good butterfly suplex, hits a
Mm.
snapmare, steps on her face, running over her, hits the drop kick. That's a classic, awesome Natalia spot. Um, that you just gotta love. Charlotte gets dumped to the outside, but then drags Natalia off the apron by her knee, and she crashes on the floor super hard. That looked like it hurt,
Yeah.
but
No,
not even the worst crash to the floor we'll see of the night.
no, Jesus.
We'll get to that one later. There's at this note, I also note that there's a woman who screams at the top of her lungs every time there's a kick out.
Yeah. I at a certain point I started thinking if it was like a production
I was like,
like audio.
is that Rick? I'm like, shit, he's invested. But anyways, yeah, that happens. I think that was just a fan trying to have some fun.
Yeah.
Charlotte goes for a moonsault, but crashes and burns, and Rick looks like disappointed, angry, like that wasn't part of the plan. Um,
Yeah, and it looked like that hurt like bad because
yeah,
she just slammed into the mat.
yeah, missing the moonsault's always a tough spot. I feel. Um, Natalia hits a great discus clothesline for a near fall. Natalia locks in the sharpshooter.
Mm.
And then Charlotte kind of reaches for her dad, and then the ref's like, "Get the fuck away, man!" She rolls through and gets a figure four in, and then we get this great back and forth spot where Natalia is reversing the pressure, but Charlotte keeps rolling over, and they're both slapping each other while they got the hold in. Uh, Natalya uh, is slapping her while she has the upper hand. Charlotte's slapping her while she has the upper hand. And then eventually Charlotte rolls into the rope and then out of the ring. And then they both just. They, like. Natalya's left up. She doesn't let go of the lock. And while Charlotte is leading out of the ring, she holds on. And that looks
Yeah.
so fucking painful.
Especially like it looked like Charlotte's ankle was like being caught by the apron.
Yeah, I don't even know who it was supposed to hurt more because like both of them just kind of lie down afterwards because it looks crazy.
Yeah, I mean the ref had to break it up. Neither of them wanted to
Well,
give
yeah,
it up, which
they were in the a rope, so it's a 5 count. Charlotte then launches Natalia knee first into the steps, and then Brett looks like slightly annoyed by that.
yeah,
He's just like,
he was like, "Oh,
ah,
come on,"
ah.
and then kind of just like walks away, like, "Ah, oh well."
Yeah. Charlotte has Natalia center of the ring. She gives the woo, about to put in the figure four, looks at her dad, but then she turns around, looks at Brett, and puts in the sharpshooter.
Yeah, and
Oh,
beautiful
fuck yeah.
spot.
Ultimate disrespect. But Natalia's not going to lose to no goddamn sharpshooter. That's her family shit. So she rolls through, and she looks to put in the sharpshooter, but Charlotte boots her, hits the, what is known at this time, the bow down to the queen, which
Yeah.
we will eventually call the natural selection, which is a much better name, and gets the win. As soon as she wins, Rick his top's off, his suit jacket's off. He just starts swinging around. He celebrates like he fucking scored the World Cup winning goal. Just fucking loving life, man.
Yeah. No, I was right there alongside Rick. I was popping off because, like, it was sad to see this match go, but God, it was nothing but amazing
Yeah,
spots.
it's a fantastic match. I think a really good showcase. In this era where the women are kind of NXT are getting more opportunity than the main roster women are, and you have Paige coming up. It's a really good technical showcase to show that these girls have the kind of ability to do like a no frills technical match, even though they have uh, Ric Flair and Bret Hart ringside, they can really carry a match without too many bells and whistles, just on the strength of their work. Awesome match.
Yeah.
After the match, we get everyone starts hugging each other, even cross family, no bad blood. Rick and Charlotte hug like 20 times. Rick is like
I will.
bawling his eyes out too.
Yeah. I will say early, like, right after she wins, before everyone starts hugging, there's a shot where Rick's looking at Charlotte like he's about to turn heel and take the belt from her. And I would have loved that storyline.
Yeah, not what's gonna end up happening.
Yeah.
Instead, Charlotte does turn on her dad. Uh, I think twice at some point they get back. But
Okay.
but
Wait, really?
that's on Raw. That's a main roster food. Yeah, when she turns heel, she does it by turning her back on her dad.
Okay.
Um,
That's
but
sick. I
yeah,
love that.
this match gets a Dave Meltzer 4-star rating. Incredibly
Yeah.
deserved. Awesome match. Um, Natalia, we won't see her in NXT anymore. She's a main roster talent. She was kind of here mostly in service of Charlotte, and Charlotte's the NXT Women's Champion. We'll see her have a match on the next show.
I'm excited. She did an amazing match, and I'm excited to see more of her.
Yeah. So we get into the build up to our main event of the evening. We have Neville jumping around backstage, getting ready. We get a promo package showing his arrival win. And this promo, I love Neville. He's great. And today,
Yeah.
he's certainly better. He's a bit of a wooden talker.
Yeah.
And it was especially, he had like one phrase or something where he's talking about how the belt is a result of years and years of work and stuff. And it felt very similar to the content of Sammy's promo earlier, and I was like, oh, he's saying the same shit but worse.
I will say notably, I liked his music a lot for the promo, and that was
Yeah.
the basically the only note I had about the promo because
Yeah, it's not a stellar promo, and I love the man known as Pac right now. He is one of my favorite wrestlers going, but at this point in time, he just hasn't really figured out the character. He'll eventually become the bastard when he turns heel years and years down the line at this point, and he will kind
mhm.
of find a lot of fire. But at this point in time, he's babyface number seven. You know, just not really nothing individually unique about his character. His uniqueness is pretty much he's pretty fucking crazy in the ring.
I do want to ask. So he says during this promo that he lost his four front teeth
Oh
due to
Jesus
being attacked
Christ!
backstage.
Yeah.
What? Huh? What?
Uh, in my watching of weekly NXT TV, I was subjected to Neville's first post Bo Dallas feud after he kind of vanquishes him, and that is the main roster's Brodus Clay, who is one of the, and I try not to be a mean person, one of the most useless wrestlers of this era. And I don't feel bad saying it because he's a not great person. Um,
Okay.
he's on like Fox News and shit nowadays. Um,
Of
I
course.
don't even know if he's still there, but he was for a while. He comes down and he starts having this feud with Neville, and in a backstage attack, he takes his teeth out at one point. It's something. It's a terrible feud. I can't lie. It's really bad. Um,
I,
yeah,
okay.
it's he eventually beats him on the May 1st edition in a no DQ match. Um, Meanwhile, while that is happening, Tyson Kidd debuts on NXT April 24th, announcing his intention to reinvent himself. Tyson Kidd has been on the main roster for a while. He is a, he is a very quality. He's very quality in ring guy. Always also been kind of bland, and all of the promo work you see in the lead up to the match of him talking, I think, is not much better. These
Yeah.
two, neither are big mic guys, but you knew it was going to be good in ring, and it does end up being good in ring. Um,
Yeah.
and I think Tyson Kidd, who we are not done with, I'm excited to see where this character goes because I think he
Mhm.
was bland, but I think he's adding some really interesting layers. Um, but yeah, Kid shows up on April 24th, says he wants to reinvent himself. He eventually, on the May 1st edition, beats Bo Dallas. He is in that battle royal that leads to the triple threat number one contenders match with Breeze and Zayn. He wins that one. Um, and they have a couple promos, and we get this match. Before the match, we see Cesaro and Christian ringside. Cesaro, of course, we saw an NXT arrival. Later this year, he'll form a tag team with Tyson Kidd on the main roster, but
Oh,
um,
sick.
I have no clue if they use that he's watching him here as motivation. I would guess probably not, but that's interesting. Kid, while he's warming up, this is actually a really strong moment, but mostly on the back of Natalya as he's warming up right before his music hits. Natalya is just in tears, comes up, hugs him, gives him a kiss, just like I think uh, I think that really does a good service to his character arc through this match and kind of
Yeah.
raising the stakes for him. Um,
Mhm.
but he has that kid enters to some generic ass music. um,
Yeah.
and the
I,
announcers are saying this is going to be his last chance, pretty much.
yeah. No, I mean, Natalia's acting and his acting backstage was great because it looked like he was getting sent off to war,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, they're
uh,
really trying to put a lot of effort into saying like this is his shot. And if
yeah.
he fucks this up, he's not going to have much left.
Also, I did want to note while we're getting into the entrances, I know we were talking last time about like the smoke versus
Oh
pyro
yes,
for
yes.
entrances. I can't lie, I really like the smoke for Neville. I think it looks great.
Neville,
I
I will
I
say his entrance smoke, that's pretty cool. I think the celebration smoke he has at the end looks kind of stupid.
it no, it does not look great, and I think something even there was going wrong because
Yeah, it
he's
looks weird.
looking around, but I think the entrance smoke looks great, and I think for his gimmick right now, where it's kind of in a weird spot, it works well enough.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed on the entrance. I think the smoke is good when it is close to the subject. The problem is
Yeah,
that they don't really play, like they don't use the physics of smoke great later because they have it coming from the top, but
yeah,
it's like 20 feet above the ring. And when he had the ladder at Arrival, it was fine because he was right there, but it like disperses before it even gets near him when he celebrates his win eventually. um,
yeah.
the announcers, yeah, are really hammering in that Kid, this is his last chance. I also said that Neville looks good with the championship. This belt is
Oh
like a little goofy shaped, but he looks good with it. And from the
no, I
back, like
agree.
you see the leather side and it looks dumb, but from the front it looks good.
I,
Um,
I, I do want to ask before we get in,
mhm.
what were your thoughts about the match?
This was my personal match of the night.
I
Um,
get that.
I
Yeah.
go this one, the women's match, then Zayn versus Breeze, and then the other two I don't give a fuck about.
For me, it was the women's match on top, like I've already said, and this one was like competing with the Sammy one, especially at the start. But
Okay, well let's talk.
God, it has a strong in.
Let,
But
let,
go, yeah,
let's talk through it and see where we differ on this. Although we both like it.
yeah,
So both of them have like a crouching stare down to start. We kind of get some intensity here.
Uh,
I love it. Kid
yeah,
drives Neville to the corner, but gets a clean break. Kid offers a handshake, but then when he shakes his hand, he just starts shit talking him. Um,
yeah,
because I think it's important. This match in the build, it's the build. I don't think has been that exceptional, and like I said, neither of these people on the mic are that great. But I do think the kind of strength of this match is that it's a babyface versus babyface match, but we do see Kid kind of slowly become more heel like as it goes on, as he kind of realizes he can't keep up. Like the story they're going for is that these two are kind of like mirrors, but eventually where we
hmm
get to is that Neville is ultimately younger, higher energy, more potential, and Kid is kind of as he tries to match him, starts losing it.
yeah,
He's going beyond his means, but at the start, Kid does have a lot of control. Is kind of overpowering him. Um, we have a "You got served" chant, which is it is 2014. Um,
yeah,
Kid is kind of overpowering him. Neville flips out, gets a cool arm drag, and then he starts shit talking him. That's some good edge for Neville, who is can appear kind of generic sometimes, but the shit talk is a good um, addition. Neville gets a or sorry, Kid goes for a monkey flip. Neville lands on his feet. They have this back and forth sequence, and then they both go for a drop kick at the same time, and they both stand up and start shit talking. Well, they both
yeah,
flip up and start shit talking, I should say. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe it's because this is a match that feels like it could have happened today. Um, but I just love that sequence. Kid uh, starting to show some edge. He puts Neville into the tree of woe in the corner where he's hanging upside down and hits two hard ass kicks to the back
yeah.
before
They
a
sounded
basement drop kick.
mean.
Just like big thuds, and it's like there's a little padding on like the shin pads and kick pads and stuff, but it makes a good thud. Kid hits a stun gun and then a drop kick to the outside before hitting a tope suicida. Um, Kid is just really great in ring as well. He's one of those kind of unsung heroes of this era. Uh, he's so smooth. Neville hits a big boot,
Mm.
um, but both guys go for a crossbody at the same time, and we have a double down. That looked like it hurt. I can't lie. There's not
Yeah.
none. You can't really have much control when both people are in the air. So like once both of them get off the ground, it's just a hope and pray that it doesn't hurt too bad.
I mean, they did just meet fully horizontal and just like meat into meat. Like, there's nothing you can do about that.
Exactly. Um, Neville eventually does get a comeback spot, hitting a bunch of kicks. He
Yeah.
goes to the middle rope, but he had to abort, and instead he puts Kid in the Tree of Woe, and he hits his own kicks to the back, to the spine, and a drop kick, outdoing him. Neville hits
Mm.
like a phenomenal forearm. Uh,
Which looked
it
beautiful.
was
Like,
pretty great. Yeah, pre AJ Styles in WWE, not his career, obviously.
yeah.
Kid goes to the top, but he takes too much time and he eats a forearm. Neville looks for a superplex. Neville reverses, or Kid reverses it, looks for a sunset flip off the top, but Neville flips out of it onto his feet and hits a pop up power bomb for a cool pin
Yeah.
attempt.
Which, that sequence was just phenomenal. Like, the work on both of them, I thought like they were gonna replay the whole thing, and the fact that they only replayed the power bomb,
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
yeah,
It's pretty sick. Neville hits a bunch of stiff kicks to the chest, goes for a springboard, but Kid meets him on the second rope and it hits like a side Russian leg sweep off the second rope. Really cool spot there.
yeah, yeah,
Kid goes up top. Neville counters, but Kid catches it, and Neville reverses again for a near fall. It's just a ton of back and forth stuff between these two. Kid looks for a suplex. Neville reverses, and he reverses and takes him over the top rope. But Kid holds on to the suplex. So both of them get dumped to the outside, and it looks kind of brutal.
yeah. I mean, there's no way you could have done like. It looked like Kids was a bit easier because he got to sit on the
He
apron
sat
for
on
a
the
bit,
apron. But
but
I was mainly surprised because I've seen that spot before, but usually they do it on the ramp side, so they have a little more real estate. Um,
yeah,
but they did it on the barricade side, and that just looked like it sucked. There's
yeah,
a After that, they almost both get counted out, but they both come back in at 9. They both are on like sea legs at this point, kind of wobbling. Uh, Neville hits a Ric Flair type woo chop before he gets put in a sharpshooter. So a little callback to the women's
yeah,
title match. Kid adjusts the sharpshooter into the dungeon lock, and Neville looks like he could be out, but he grabs the rope. Pretty good job of almost looking like he passed out, honestly.
No,
Um,
there was one moment like his eyes were closed, his hand was limp, and the ref like lifted his hand where I thought it was gonna be like, yeah, he passed out, but
mhm. But we got
no,
some
he was
mileage.
just great at
We
it.
got some mileage to go in this match.
Yeah,
Uh, Neville gets kicked while he's like caught upside down in the ropes, and the kid hits this flipping leg drop onto him. That I don't really understand how it occurred physically in space, but it was really fucking cool. Um,
yeah, yeah,
Kid again tries to go to the top rope as he's tried a lot of times in this match, and Neville like gets pushed off like 3 separate times, but he
yeah,
eventually gets back up top and hits a top rope Hurricane Rana. Neville goes up for the red arrow after that and gets the 3 count to win. Um, Awesome match in my opinion. It was
yeah,
my personal match of the night. Charlotte and Natalya very close behind, but this match to me, I think, told a great story for Kid's character development. As the match goes on, he kind of becomes more restless, and it builds really nicely to the post match angle we get.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
for me, it was just like I really liked this match. It felt like the first 5 minutes had a bit of like where they were talking about like it was a mirror match. They were hitting a lot of similar spots, which I enjoyed that storytelling for them to then hit personal ones. I just felt like it went a minute or two long,
sure.
but the end had nothing but gas, and
Yeah.
when they found that momentum, I like you couldn't look away.
Yeah, for me, it felt like the opening minutes were kind of show off the character perspective and
Yeah.
lead to the fact that later in the match, Kid is trying to kind of exceed Neville, but he just can't play his game like he can. He goes to the top rope like 3 times, but he's never really able to land anything off of it. And
Yeah.
for me, that added to the match, but I can see how in the moment it really kind of drags in. Natalya and Charlotte is just kind of fire the whole way through.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
go on.
No, no, no.
I think it was just one of those like after seeing both of them kind of come in so hot, you and like with the menacing walking around, the grappling, you thought it would carry a similar kind of heat throughout.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like when the red arrow hit at the end, you could see the crowd, like every person was standing losing their mind, and the commentators were losing their mind because they replay the clip like four
They
times, I
do
think.
replay the clip like 4 times, which is really funny considering they have like a post match angle set up. Um,
Yeah.
um, this match gets a 3.5 star rating. Right in the range I'd put it up in. After the match, Neville's celebrating in the smoke. It kind of looks like whatever, and then
Yeah.
we keep getting these like shots of Kid kind of looking like he's kicking himself. He looks like he's really disappointed with the outcome. Neville looks to
Hmm.
show him respect with a handshake, but Kid stands up and he just shoulder bumps and walks past him, limping back to the backstage area. And Neville kind of looks like, whoa, what the fuck happened? But then he goes like, yeah, I'm the champion, yay.
No, I love that moment from Kid. Like, sold the character really well. The like frustration
Yeah.
behind it,
Yeah.
and
We are
yeah,
not done with Tyson Kidd in NXT. He's got some mileage now with a kind of edge to his character a little bit.
yeah,
Um, Interestingly, I'll say about Kid though is that the rumors after this performance is that he is kind of entering the next phase of his career, and that before this match, they were considered making him like a masked wrestler and completely changing up his gimmick because his brand has been devalued. But they're gonna get a little mileage out of this, and we'll see how it goes.
okay.
Yeah, great match. So that was NXT Takeover. What were your thoughts on the overall show?
I thought it was good. Like I said, kind of towards the start, going
Mm-hmm.
into it, I was thinking a rival would be pretty hard to beat, and it definitely didn't help that the lows of this show were just so very low
Yeah.
compared to like a pretty consistent, if not as great, arrival
Mm-hmm.
that I, in my mind I would have like if I had to rewatch one or the other, I'd probably rewatch Arrival again just for the like start of it for the Sammy Cesaro match.
Sure.
But I would definitely miss the Charlotte Natalia match, the Adrian Neville Tyson Kidd match. Like both of them were just
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal peaks that
Yeah, I'd say
it really shows you NXT is like starting to like pick up its pace and get going.
I'd say they were of similar quality. I think I lean Takeover just because I think the highs are higher. I think Sammy versus Cesaro maybe is it's the to me the best match of Arrival, but I think both Charlotte versus Natalya and Neville versus Kid are better matches than the best Arrival match. If you think that's the ladder match or Sammy Cesaro, that's
Yeah.
up to you. But I think this one has high enough highs where I lean this one, even if it's got more glaring flaws.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, internally, the show is seen as a massive success.
Yeah. Fair.
WWE apparently, reportedly, was pushing main roster talents that were going to be working the pay per view, which is like 2 or 3 days after this NXT event. They were pushed that they need to work even harder, considering how successful the NXT Takeover event was. Um, and that they can't be outshined by the developmental brand. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
big success at the time, this show, and I get like, even if we didn't really fuck with it now, the Adam Rose kind of experiment on NXT is evidently very over with everyone back there. So the energy of these shows from start to finish is like high, even for the stuff that is not necessarily working, and like Ascension are like very liked by this audience. So like the energy of these shows is so positive.
Yeah.
Also, it's pretty much confirmed on the NXT Takeover Fallout show that we're gonna get another takeover, which obviously we do. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a series. Um,
This is actually episode 2 and the end.
yeah, welcome to the finale. Um, Also important is that according to the Wrestling Observer, Kenta, Prince Devitt, and Kevin Steen will be coming to the Performance Center in August, which is about a month before the NXT takeover. The next NXT takeover will be. We don't see any of them on that show, but we will see some of them on the next show in very prominent roles. But anyways,
Okay.
that is NXT Takeover. Next, we have NXT Takeover Fatal Four Way, and it is titled this because the main event is a Fatal Four Way.
Whoa.
um,
I'm really
yeah,
excited.
a quick preview of that card. We have the new tag team of the Lucha Dragons, which is Kalisto and Sin Cara taking on the Ascension. We have the return of C.J. Parker, who will be taking on Baron Corbin. We have a hair versus hair match between Enzo Amore and Sylvester Lefort. We have a Mojo Rawley match against Bull Dempsey, who's a
Okay.
newcomer to us. We have an NXT Women's Championship match between Charlotte and Bayley. And the main event is an NXT Championship Fatal 4 Way match for the title. It is between defending champion Adrian Neville, Tyson Kidd, Tyler Breeze, and Sami Zayn.
That's that's an amazing Fatal 4-way
Yes.
roster.
So that's what we
I'm so
have
excited.
to look forward to. Anyways, that was NXT TakeOver, the first one. Thank you all so much for listening. If you got to this point, we'll be back soon with our NXT TakeOver Fatal 4 Way review. Thank you so much.